Talofa everyone, and good evening. Welcome to our second virtual Pacific Roots open mic.
With the current state of the world, we thought it was important to make this month's theme for prom culture and racism. The performers tonight will be showcasing their personal opinions and experiences that hopefully we all can learn from and continue these types of conversations. We just wanted to say thank you for your support. We also wanted to thank our off-island winners from last month who donated their prize money back to prom and those who donated locally and abroad.
All right, so let's move into voting. So there will be a number at the top left of your screen. Whoever you would like to vote for best original piece, make sure you leave it in the comments below, whether that's in our YouTube channel or on Facebook. We will tally them up, and with this time we are giving 48 hours just to make sure that, you know, people who can't watch it tonight, which is Sunday, can watch it over the next 2 days. Then we'll announce the winner on July 1st, Wednesday, at our Facebook at Pacific Roots Open Mic. So don't forget to vote and show some love for your favorite pieces in the comments. We also have a very exciting announcement. In October of this year, we'll be partnering with the American Samoa Community Cancer Coalition to showcase all of the best, most beautiful talents here in American Samoa from our youth. So all artists, whether you are a dancer, a singer, a poet, or a painter, we want all of you guys to help us out with this event so we can showcase it to the island and not just at our local small proms. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. We are very excited. We will need all the help from all of you artists, volunteers, and anybody who's off island that would like to contribute.
Now let's get tonight started.
Welcome to Pacific Roots.
It has been a long and crazy 6 months. With everything that we've been dealing with, it feels like it's been a whole year. And I need to get some stuff off my chest. Okay, ese la war kulang on Nico Sama. So the kamo mi sela mo mo e ke lo kanaka. Ko foi ma fama ma kanya sia si mai ka mo wasi. Ko puli aku ma. Mole aku ni ka mana langi na se se mi fanga mo o ma ko de ngi lo langi ne ku mau. Fola mai o a au no fo ku lo fanga ma le fili o sa mo ko sola. O le foi ma fe ma le ka mo ko lo le na lo langi mo fo ko lo. Sa le fake wa ka fe o na le li o na o lo faula. Okay, o fo mi ka sa mo lo fakamala. Mo ma wa yo na ngai ka mai lu le maua. Ke le foi la uso fo la o le fenga malanga o le ami o la fo le ku pa o kama. O le fa o lima ma fa sia ra pe la le fa ma ma va kina. Au nge nga mai fo ile ke le aisa ma le pele pe ai nga mo la fa se se va lo inga. Ka fa ile anga uma ma fa fa wa fi o fo i mo la fa nga. Ai le lava se me o fa ai o ku fu ai lava fa ile sa me ko le se finga finga o ku pe na fa fa ka. Ele na fa ia o fa no fa la ko le fa fa lava. Ai me se na ka uri mo la ko ma fa ia. Ke le ko sa ka wa yo le lava ka ko ke le ke ka ko uma lava ka se la fa na o ba le. As people of God, we've been letting him down. With all that love from God, we ain't sharing the love enough. Like IP said, man, you gotta have love just to set it straight. Take control of your mind and let it meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love, y'all. People killing and people dying, children hurting, you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach, or will you just turn the other cheek? Father, help us. Give us some guidance from up above. Because the people down here, they got me questioning where is the love? Where is that one love?
My village has a bunch of crazy people. My village has 5 churches with a bunch of crazy people. My village is your crazy aunt on social media who's airing out the family dirty laundry and will still come to Thanksgiving dinner. My village will go all out during Fautasi season and will still party like champions. My village can turn a cooler full of beer in the back of the market to be the best party you will ever go to. My village doesn't read a lot of poetry, but my village does know all the lyrics to the Aiawa song. Awhai e te whia tofo tofo, su e mai aui whangatongo. And they will sing it loudly. My village does not apologize for itself. My village embarrasses me sometimes. My village has kids roaming the streets past curfew. My village has a meth problem. My village is trying to recover. My village is trying to heal. My village is trying. My village I left as soon as possible. My village became a punchline for outsiders for being troublemakers. We're being spoken of in conversations as, oh, no wonder why. You're a Fongotongo. But my village followed me like an unshakable habit. My village is a past I can't shake. My village is a sort of growling from inside my throat. My village is a part of me as my spine, a place I defend through the very people I escape to find. My village makes me very suspicious of anyone who values education over kindness, who cares more about how smart you sound saying something than what you are actually trying to say. My village youth are some of the most respectful kids you will ever find. And the rest, they just need a bit of mentoring. My village has some of the most decent human beings you will ever meet, and the worst. My village is filled with blue-collar workers who work tirelessly to support their families. My village eats at McDonald's as though managing to feed your families after a long day is something to be ashamed of. My village gave birth to great leaders, to matriarchs, to fathers, the very foundation of this village, to critics, to advocates, to fighters. My village is unimpressed to the hubris of art who listens to music that actually speaks to them. My village knows you don't need a college degree to be a decent person. My village has a beautiful view of the harbor. At night you can see the city lights across the way. The way it gleams fills you with this bottomless hope. It is the best lesson on beauty from the struggle you will ever get. And my village understands the word community, will mourn with you, celebrate you, believes in taking care of each other. My village loves you, feeds you, does not shame you for struggling. My village does not apologize.
That's my Uso, I love you. Y'all been my Uso since 88 and 94. We've been together ever since, so we became adults. But back in the days, we were inseparable. Always fooling around like the usual. Now le fire mamisa at each other's neck. Had to hash it all out, turn and respect. Jab, jab, rock bottom till you connect. You already know I ain't talking about that internet. I ain't tripping no, cause that's how it's supposed to be. Y'all my Usos for life and eternity. Now yo Uso ole atua ole fa'avae. Lo'wa lo famo olua ele mavae. Birthdays were the best days. My line Emi was the stop, homie A&A. Bumping NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Our favorite song on repeat while we sang with joy. Can't forget about that ass whooping. That salulima to the back like a bad student. Ma'ingi so much cause it hit different. The big ooze took the most but it's still coolin'. Ayy. Over like at a young age. The little one always missing like the front page. Always hanging at a cousin's house down the street. And he never came home till it was time to eat. Mom and pops made sure we had a home cooked meal. Always told us about the struggle, always kept it real. Ya eva yo matua, matuanga itatalo. Living life to the fullest and we all about the motto. Damn right we love the life we live. Me and my Usos about respect, love and forgive. Only war for. Alofa atuna yo Uso forevermore.
That's my Uso. That's my Uso. That's my Uso. I love you.
To the great Uso.
That's my 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 Uso. I love you.
To the great Uso.
When the skies don't look clear, I'm always be right here. 'Cause you're my brother, I got you. When life don't treat you fair, I'ma never
Hi guys, so I'm back with another poem. So my original poem is called Culture Vultures. I have made a discovery. So many people who I thought I knew, I guess I don't. People who took a black man's death as a joke. I refuse to be silent while black people are being murdered unjustly. I am an ally. You can trust me. Black Lives Matter shouldn't be controversial. Don't be mad you don't have a movement. Be happy you are privileged enough not to. It all starts with education. I know we are all one race, the human race, because we are God's creation, and with that, there is liberation. But saying all lives matter belittles the movement, because all lives don't matter until Black lives do. Now please see this through. America is home to 4.25% of the world's population, but holds 25% of the world's prisoners. Black people are 13% of America's population, but 40% of America's prisoners. Now that doesn't sound right. And that's why we fight. The system was never designed to protect, and if you can't respect Black people's existence, expect resistance. Because the protests have stayed consistent. So you know what is happening is wrong. And please don't tell me white people are killed by cops more often, while Black people are 5 times more likely to be killed by a police officer. We are in the land of the free, but your freedom is determined by your skin. And all those unarmed Black men, how can they ever be free when their color is their weapon? So for those who have been quiet, I see you. Your silence is violence. There is a time and a place, but the time is now. Wherever you are, support the Black community like you do their culture. Don't just be a vulture, taking their music, style, dances, and slang. But when they need you, you detach. But never hesitate to snatch their way of life, but will never care when a cop takes another. They say to say their names, and I have 1,000,000 times. And each time it feels like knives. They all were too young and should have thrived. And the trauma. When another man has to call out to his mama, I know where I stand, on the side where our government wants to disband. There will always be a plan. So raise your hand and say that Black lives do matter. Thank you.
It is not my culture. It is not my culture to be silent, but there is a silent part of being Samoan. It is not my culture to be arrogant, but there is pride in being Samoan. It is not my culture to be racist, but there is racism here, my dearest, beloved, most precious Samoa. When I speak of silence, I'm talking about my brother's head hitting the floor because the first few times the rod was spared, he still didn't listen. I find maile palangi, it's called attention deficit disorder. It couldn't possibly be because he was just an Ulavali kid. Oh no, they had to name it something else. And my grandmother would say, "Kupulelea nga ulilea oha of alika maiki." But who's to say he wasn't? Sasal apa kwe sasal kala. Theory is nothing without practice in my culture. Lapatainga is nothing without the salulima. We are silent only to our mothers and fathers. We are silent to our pastors, leaders, elders. We are silent to our own because we know who they are. You don't know how to be silent to yours because you don't know who you are. Identity. When I speak of arrogance, or was it confidence, or pride? I'm sorry, kele upungilisi se, so I'll stick with mimita and mita. Mimita is when you come back from America, New Zealand, Ingosia parts of the world and think that you know better. Mita is when you come back from the exact same places and know you will do better. Either way, rest assured, the name of your family, church, village, elementary school, high school, we only have one community college, so scratch that, again, depends on the pride you choose or lose. You see, when Samoans see the character of other Samoans, it matters more that you are bright and not just right. That, my dear listener, is the one I want to be related to and post on social media. Hashtag, that's my cousin. I asked Saul Samoa if Ali may lang fiyak kama. Hashtag, is that your cousin? And this is the last part of my heart that I know will hurt many of my own. Racism is never alone. Racism is a group of people that decided the color of our skin and the land of our birth is greater than the bones in our body. We all have the same structure, limb by limb, ashes even, yet you can touch, taste, smell, hear, and feel friction. Perfect example, palangitoy. From everyone's mouth, I was called a palangitoy. Nicknames, casual lingo, whatever you want to call it, you see, have origins. Palangi is explode heaven, basically calling the white man someone who came from the sky. Toy is a toy. 29 years later, I just want to ask, do I look like a toy that exploded from heaven? Deeper still, let's get into it. Meoli is black thing. You see it all over the internet. It rolls off our tongues, not because we lack knowledge, but we lack acknowledgement. We don't want to acknowledge that this word is wrong and dehumanizing and straight up racist. But you see, I was taught this lesson by my grandpa. My grandparents lived in Uganda as missionaries, and during the summer of 2008, when I visited them in Oregon, my grandfather asked me, Herthelina, what is Meoli? I replied, someone who is black. He pulled me closer and said, no, it means black thing. And people, Herthelina, are not things. They are not objects. They are humans, just like you and me. No one addresses me as a mea Samoa. And if they did, imagine the emotions and thoughts I'd be having by now. Imagine the need for me to correct you. Imagine how much the Black Lives Matter matters to me. Other ethnicities here are called by their countries. Ole Sainga, Ole Kolea, Ole Fiki, Ole Filipino, Ole Konga, Ole Palangi, Ole, I'm not going to say it, but you did. Ole Upolu, Ole Mahua, here's one. Ole Mala. These categories, these seemingly non-threatening ways we marginalize people, try to repeat those words to yourself and see if the context we put it in are actually helpful. Do you call that man Mr. Kim because his name is actually Mr. Kim? Or is it because you're ignorant and didn't bother to learn his actual name? Do you say Olegenge Fiki because she's the babysitter of your brother's kids, that you didn't care enough to remember her name? Do you leave the door open for your aunt, even though she's not really your aunt, because she's Samoan? While you walk right past an elderly Tongan lady you know clearly doesn't know how to speak good Samoan but tries her very best because she's lived here for more than 20 years? Samoa, Talofa, these things I freely feel and deal with every day never go unnoticed. They don't have to be Samoan to be shown the fa Samoa or privilege. Our privilege of being Samoan is to be Samoan to those who are not Samoan. The race is to be human. If we are to be loud, may our culture scream love. If we are to have pride, may our culture proudly represent compassion. If we are to fight against racism, may our culture seek wisdom. Ia mala malama o umata, ia mala malama fo'ia umata. My dearest, beloved, most precious Samoa, when my children speak of you, may their words be different from mine. And when the world speaks of you, may their words be nothing but kind. It is not my culture.
It's out of our control. It's not like he wants to kill. He just doesn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? It's that situation when you got, we are living in a war zone. I feel like I can represent my generation so much because I honestly did not care whether I lived or died. But now, I cannot die. I can't leave until this shit is straight. You know, I'm not suicidal. I can't go until y'all really know what time it is. And then after that, boom, it's all over. And we can see, you know, how this shit fall. But that's how it is. And the reason being is because if I can't live free, if I can't live with the same respect as the next man, I don't want to be here. Because God has cursed me to see what life should be like.
Came to my senses, been stressing, lately messing with life lessons. It's a blessing, a reminiscent of peace. Blame it on the liquor, brain a bit tickled, but I picked up the beat, yeah, up till 5 in the morning. Up with a dime in the rolling, but I don't mean was a letter, I was a bit homely. But my lady had a full day, yeah, today was her first day. They say to get a government job, who you know is the only way. Who you know is the only way. Anyway, yeah. We have real problems in the 684. Niggas who rob their mama in daylight with no shame. White smoke, he deep in the game. Ain't give 2 fucks about shame. A pound of blow is all he wanna gain. Pain is the death of Christ. Propane torch, load up a glass of ice. Cause holy water can't stop this flow. If it went with this said bitch, slap you ho. With my lighter and man. Yeah. Problems in the 684. We got problems in the 684. But I still love you. Problems in the 684. Yeah. We got problems in the 684. Now we start to address it. Yeah. Be wise, son. Wise, son. If I ain't no wise one. In your soul and set me free. Third eye son, black ones, white ones, it don't matter. Third graders, acknowledge he's God's son. Baptizing bitch niggas with baptismal flow. Rape your brain cells, give your brain no oral. Here's the moral, eat a plate full of junk, get stuck like coral. Here's the moral, sip, smoke some of the skunk, sink down the go oral. Stories told, tales of Atlantis and Babylon. Frequency tuned in to the end, you not the vibe that I be on. So come on, get on and ride this train. Ain't nothing like a G thing, robbing my brain, scooping, dragging inspiration, cause they share some divine. Along with all the OGs, doing before it lasted time. I'm on my grind. Hustle taught me how to survive. I put my red in the guy, gave me chills down inside. I'm on my grind, nigga. Yeah. Rest in peace. We got problems in the 684. Son, tired and sick of this hating on you, fuck gang. Yeah. 684. Where my stimulus check at, man? So my hustle trying to survive and you shit on my brain. I'm not gonna tell you again, sit your ass down, insane. Yo, what my got up running around here with 1-6 machetes ready to chop heads off, nigga. You lucky we fat. We got real problems in the 684. Yeah, we got problems. Problems in the 684. I still love you. Got problems in the 684. You're my family. The same blood we bleed, the same blood we're free. So come and rock with me and speak life, you see. Yeah, your voice, Mike G, speaks life, you see. And if you know that, then come on. Rock with your boy, then come on. Rock with your boy, man. Rock with your boy, man. Good living. When people see me, they see a black guy. So I'm cool with it. I know who I am. I'm half Samoan, half black. And I have pride in that.
Do you know the reason why I pulled you over tonight? Cause neither do I. Can I see your license and registration, please, sir? Can you step out of the vehicle, put your hands where I can see you? You have the right to remain silent because the melanin of your skin is a crime that speaks for itself. Anything you say will not matter after this point. Stop resisting arrest. Put your hands behind your back. Why are you reaching for your pocket? Dispatch, I need backup. He's reaching for his 9mm wallet. I mean his pocket knife cell phone. I mean his 22 keychain. Bang, bang. 1 cup, 2 shots, 3 words. This is America. To my Alpha Uli, Alpha Samoan cousins, friends, nieces, and nephews, I may not know what it's like to be black. But just because it's not my fault doesn't mean it's not my problem. I hear you. I hear you through the cries of Elijah McClain, killed by Aurora PD for a report on suspicious behavior and a couple of iced teas. I hear you trying to catch your breath, trying to run after justice when injustice is all you see. I hear you. I hear you choking on the lies of how they wrongfully convict you just because you're a few tones darker than they are. They love your culture but never want to fight for you. They love your rhythm but never want to learn your blues. It takes a fool to build his house upon the sand. Some of them need to experience it firsthand just for them to fully understand that black lives want to be understood, not to be stood upon or to be looked upon when hanging from the tree of a corrupted system that was meant to protect them. When will we see that God wants us to act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly? Micah 6 verses 8. It was 8 times that they shot Breonna Taylor in her sleep, plus 8 minutes and 46 seconds that took George Floyd's breath away, equals 16 times that he screamed, "I can't breathe." Mama, please. 1 John chapter 2 verses 11 says, "But anyone who hates a brother or sister is in the darkness, and whoever is in the dark shall be brought to life." Red and yellow, black and white, they are all precious in God's sight. How about yours? James 2 verses 9, "But if you favor some people over others, you are committing a sin." Let the words of this verse jump off of the page and hit you. This is not a skin issue. This is a sin issue. I said, this is not a skin issue, but a sin issue. And I still see you. I see not the color of your skin, but the scars on the backs of your ancestors that tells your story. How you were stolen from your land to work the land of another man. I see you. I see the chains that once bound you broken at last, only to be slowly binding you again. How can we pretend that this is not happening? Staying silent is violent. And choosing neutrality is choosing the side against the oppressed. And to think, how do you explain to a child that the color of their skin could one day be the reason why that they'll never come home? That they'll never know when their last breath, for death comes like a thief in the night. Trayvon Martin, Kendrick McDade were babies themselves, even Tamir Rice, and the many unnamed victims of police brutality. May they forever rest in peace. But this is for my Alpha Uli, Alpha Samoan cousins, nieces, nephews, and friends. I may not know what it's like to be black, but just because it's not my fault doesn't mean it's not my problem. You are not alone. I hear you. I see you. I love you.
Hi, my name is Tatiana Jackson, and I'll be sharing a piece I wrote titled, "I'm Not Racist." I'm not racist, they say, as they proceed to cling on to the culture of the very people they refuse to stand with. I'm not racist, they say, as they turn a blind eye to the fact that the people they claim to stand with get murdered every day. I'm not racist, they say, as they adopt the slang our fellow black brothers and sisters birthed, yet mock the very same people for the way they speak. I'm not racist, they say, as they use the slurs created against our fellow peoples of color. I'm not racist, they say, as they blame and target Asian people for the pandemic. I'm not racist, they say, as they proceed to mock my culture. I'm not racist, they say, as they proceed to call the people of Papua New Guinea savage. I'm not racist, they say, as they proceed to call them Meauli. I'm not racist, they say, as they proceed to say all lives matter. I'm not racist, they say, as they continue to choose the side of the oppressor. I'm not racist, they say, as they talk down on the Asian community for trying to build a better life. I'm not racist, they say, as they continue to tease the Asian community for their language and way of life. I'm not racist, they say, as they continue to make jokes of what our fellow Polynesian brothers and sisters eat. I'm not racist, you say, yet you take away light from the fight for equality. I'm not racist, you say, as you proceed to tell me to go back to Samoa. I'm not racist, you say, as you jokingly shout to our Filipino teacher that you don't serve Filipinos. I'm not racist, you say, as you racially profile the innocent man of color walking out of the store. I'm not racist, you say, as you continue to mock your friend for being a foreigner. I'm not racist, you say, as you continue to put down our people. I'm not racist, you say, as you continue to support your white supremacist friend, because that's what friends do. I'm not racist, you say, as you Hail Hitler salute in front of the Jewish boy as a joke. I'm not racist, you say, as you tell me I'm not Samoan enough to be here. I'm not racist, you say, as you continue to let your actions speak louder than your words. Don't say you're not racist. Prove it.
Listen, I'm scrolling my news feed, I'm seeing these protests, reading these comments, and some of them grotesque. I see the Abbeys and now I'm like, wait a minute, my brain won't comprehend it, cause most of them brown skinned. See these folks on my pigment writing this don't apply. Ignorance saying if he only would've complied. Stop myself from clicking that button to reply, cause some people don't wanna learn, so who am I? Instead I'll say that the way y'all making jokes about this issue at hand not only shows me you way too shallow to take a stand, but morally you just ain't equipped to be a man, and you looking like pawns are part of they bigger plan. Bunch of sellouts. I don't got love for people who talk down on people who look like us. I don't got love for people making a joke when a black man is pleading for his life or being choked. And I don't got love when our people make a plan and our people got an issue at someone taking a stand. I don't got love for the ones blinded. Every argument is one-sided. Done talking if they close-minded. Too grown for the back and forth. We ain't on no tennis court. Older, so I know now that less is more. Tell me how they get away with these killings. Tell me how you can't help but to feel it. Tell me why you think only a couple cops are crooked as hell. Tell me modern day slavery isn't our jails. Tell me they ain't put these kids and lock them in cells. Tell me racism isn't alive and well. It's sad. These cops are crooked as hell. Tell me modern day slavery isn't our jails. Tell me they ain't put these kids and lock them in cells. Tell me racism isn't alive and well. Look. Yeah.
This is an original piece I call Ditter by the Nameless Navigator. Culture and racism. Those two words to me are complete opposites, yet to some, they are one and the same. For too long, they've been filled up with hate, and it spews out of their mouth before it touches the brain. Think before you speak. They can't get a good point across, let alone put a dent in the final score. Those outdated ideologies are memoirs of a dinosaur. You've been living under a rock, completely fossilized. Should've took your shot before the last tick-tock. Now we on a lift off with ambitions that rise beyond the skies. Your racism is not welcomed, never greeted by tomorrow's hands. The tides of change are on the rise, and you have built your castle upon the sands. You're washed up. And this is not aggressive, but progressive. While your learning curve is more of a loop, stuck in the same old lesson, suffering purgatory from an age-old method, fear-mongering. And I could never be weak or poor enough to buy it. Might be broke at times, but my mind is always fixated to keep on trying. Relentless and resilient. So my struggle defines my hustle, and deep inside this jungle I am a civilized savage. The navigator who could sail through the madness to catch a glimpse of it all and translate it to the canvas. Bigger picture. A person of color who gives depth without highlighting the shadows. Accuracy mixed with efficiency as I work with a finite amount of ammo. The pastels of pastels that smear across a masterpiece. Are we defacing their portrayals or shedding light upon their fallacies? It's true I am biased and have written this verse with certain feeling that they'll blame my mental health, but how can men tell health when they have no words of healing? Cognitive dissonance. But unlike the trends, I am not seeking revenge but need more equal opportunity, which doesn't require more handouts. Instead, view your chosen people with that same scrutiny. White-collar crimes. They'd rather crush me under the gavel but have no right or room to judge me. Their lustful greed has driven us to war with entire countries just so the wealthy can absorb more money. The culture of kleptocracy. Unbeknownst to us all are the machinations of creatures with no imaginations, their souls traded away at a discount for a fast buck at the stock exchanges. And they want me to comply with their senseless orders, like I flip burgers for free at McDonald's. With all the stress from being caged, it's become easy for me to find therapy in the bottle. 3/5 a man. Deep from the abyss we raise fists to land. Outcasts who cast out left hooks till they lure in more fish for man. But their insatiable appetite has simply outgrown their big demands. And now I feel the pressures as I come to grips with their vicious plans. But those same burdens put me in a position to uplift other hidden gems. Diamond in the rough.
Light shining through the back of the window on my truck, pull me over with my tags at the Gluck apartment. Because it seemed to me like deja vu, a reoccurring American nightmare on the news for the minority. Exclusivity, the melanin majority, inferiority based on preconceived notions. Visions are drowning in my blood soaking, reaching up into that U.S. open, the sun soaking. I put my hands on the dash cause I ain't done nothing. Pull me out with a gun drawn like I done something. It's Rodney King 92 all over again. Images of burning buildings engulfing my head. The streets filled with smoke and ash. Marathons over broken glass, shadows of a lonely past. The ghost of Oscar Grant trample over soul samples. From car stereo systems on those channels. I could smell it in the air, feel it on my skin. Hair standing up, muscles got that quick twitch. Throat got that itch in the middle like that uncertainty. Survive at a traffic stop is not a certainty. To think the worst, my pops told me to mind my own. And even though I did, now I'm on the face down, wondering if a bullet gon' take me. With a pistol to my dome, yelling for mama to save me. I don't wanna leave to be an old man. To be an old man. But I can't breathe. But I can't breathe. I said I can't breathe. I said I can't breathe. I don't wanna leave to be an old man. To be an old man. But I can't breathe. But I can't breathe. I said I can't breathe. I said I can't breathe. I used to read about the Amadous and Eric Garners, the Botham Jeans and the Stephen Taylors, Tamir Rices and the Mike Browns, Philando Castile, the Walter Scotts, the Freddie Grays, and everybody else. And thought, nah, it could never happen to me. George Floyd yelling out, I can't breathe. God, please. And got me situated in a similar position. Trying to clear my mind, but I panic and start to trip. More squad cars are pulling up. I feel the need, touch the back of my neck, and I get to throwing up. More people get to showing up. Phones going up in the air, recording a murder on IG. Echoes muffled out by the high beams. Silent screams of a live beam. On my very last breath, I clarify the difference between life and death. Right versus left, they see it and turn their backs to it. I saw it and turn my back to it. Act stupid, snap shooting. Blacks looting, hella smog and hella pollution. Humans, movement in the wind cruising. Spark a doobie if I could return to my kids. I'll last the image of my wife in the back of that. My parents' faces as I pass away to pearly gates. The curtain closes on my eyes as I return to that holy place. I don't wanna leave to be an old man. To be an old man. But I can't breathe. But I can't breathe. I said I can't breathe. I said I can't breathe. I don't wanna leave to be an old man. To be an old man. But I can't breathe. But I can't breathe. I said I can't breathe. I said I can't breathe.
This is a letter I wrote to myself in 2016. A reminder. Sticks and stones may break our bones, but words strike harder than lightning. Some days, it feels like I'm carrying the weight of our island on my shoulders. I live on the rock, but I'm no Dwayne Johnson. I'm not even related to him. I do not possess superpowers like Beyonce, and to be frank, I'm drowning in the Pacific Ocean that always seems so seductive. How should I feel when the sea has been calling my name? Ano, come home. I'm addicted to rocking snapbacks and Jordans, yet I've never felt more connected to Mother Earth than when I walk bare feet through Samoa, still home. Never fully felt like it. You see, in American Samoa, presentation is everything, and as a young aspiring Pacific Islander, I find it harder on myself. I lived an hour away from school, so growing up while driving through different villages, elementary kids would occasionally yell, "Hey, palingi toy!" Why? How can there be so much humor in belittling another local? All I ever wanted to do was fit in and be accepted. You see, I grew up on red ice cakes and bongos, fishing off of rocky beach shores, but never catching the answer I was hoping to magically reel in. Oftentimes, new acquaintances ask where in the States I'm from or how long it's been since I moved to Samoa. I don't understand. Named after my uncle from Tokelau, my identification states LBJ Hospital, so why can't they see it? I was born out of my mother's womb of flame. I grew to be a warrior, then molded into a chief. I left my village to attend college in Hawaii to aspire for greatness, then returned home to the same motherland to help build this community that never fully embraced me, yet still somehow, some way here I stand, a product of my environment. Is this it? Is this the acceptance into our community that I've been longing for? I feel as if I tried so hard to fit in, to prove to everybody that I am one, that I do belong, but in the process I turned into someone I wasn't really comfortable with being. And I now realize that this is not me. And it took 26 years for me to see that my path will always be different, and honestly, that's not okay with me. So, to that random young man that called me Balangsoy earlier tonight, thank you for the reminder that there is still so much more education that needs to be implemented on this island. And my job is far from finished.
Because God has cursed me to see what life should be like.
It's crazy times that we living in, right? Every day I thank the Lord for seeing me through the night to live for another day. I used to disregard his blessings without a second thought. Once I fought inside myself, I could have lost it. Still I stand by my brothers and sisters, hand in hand for my beliefs as a man, uncle, son, and nephew. I refuse to stand idly by, keeping my tongue tied to this system that was built on lies. So to my people as a disguise for weakness, still we believed it. Good old European deceivers spread through my people. I couldn't blame them when tempted by evil. I bit the bait, slave to my weaknesses, but still we are not enslaved. I ain't trying to break the cycle, but more so rearrange the way we move throughout this life so we don't gotta pretend this culture being sick. And we've been trying to change our ways, so if we did it back then, why can't we do it again? I mean, I grew up in the church and so did you. It's evident, but tell me when's the last time you got to choose your own fellowship? When did they stop feeding you messages more so threatening that if you fell astray you'd be one step farther from heaven? Cause I remember like it was yesterday, as I wonder why my folks never prayed harder than their parents before them, cause of stress and pain. Looking back at the people that we've lost along the way, we were never forced to miss the bag, cause their presence was a blessing in itself. Why is it when the broken need the help, they're told to get a job? Never worry about the mental health, cause they checking your pockets, huh? See, we were conformed to watch out for our own, but unless they carried our last name, they were alone in their battles. Like sheep led to the slaughter when that bingo starts. Blood dry cause silence ain't enough for God to see your heart. Euthanizing the future generation without no disregard of how they feel, cause youngins never had a voice to start with. I'd be lying if I said that was all, who am I kidding? To this day, we're still judging each other off of our pigment like it's supposed to hold some kind of status. We got so used to cracking jokes in times like this, meanwhile they're shooting people senselessly.
That's why I'm wide awake when I walk these streets. Used to be in case of the next man, but now those sworn to protect and serve been showing their true colors. Scratch that, cause the only color they look out for is one another, and it burns to see. Our kids are murdered to the 3rd degree. Mom and dad's taken from their families without so much as a goodbye. Meanwhile, the media twisting what really happened like we didn't see the footage. Are you stupid? Cause ain't none of those are good lies, yet most believe them. Cause they don't know how to think for themselves or have their own opinion. Even if it means going against whoever writes your checks or pays your taxes back. Long as you get what you got coming, you're walking around like you ain't seeing nothing, and that's bothersome. How we grow number to what keeps popping up and down your feed, a timeline without doing something. All that tells me is we've grown too comfortable with what they handed us, and we're tired of hearing that it was just a misunderstanding, and you wonder why we looting. Even if it ain't a part of the movement, you can cut the bullshit. Cause we stopped believing when Zimmerman was acquitted. We stopped believing when y'all assumed there was a weapon. We stopped believing when you let murderers walk away with no charges. Regardless of how I feel, no, I stand by my people. Those that believe we are all truly equal. Those that judge by character and not by skin color. Those that love as long as it's reciprocated amongst one another. Those are who I call sister or brother, in hopes of a better future. For the ones taken too soon, cause this world's still what it used to be. Divided in the disguise of freedom, cause we were used for free, and promises of grandeur were never honored. So who's the thief? See, we can never bring it back, but we can rebuild. Try to prevent before action is taken, cause how would you feel if that was your son or daughter? So before you go arguing against the change we're trying to bring into this world, hug your boy or girl or whatever you wanna be, because it's coming. As much as you hate to see it, boy, it's coming. So before I end this open letter of pain, would you put a fist in the sky for the lives taken and just help me say their names? Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, say their names. Samir Rice, Trayvon Martin, say their names. Yeah. So that they'll never be forgotten in this world that's truly cost them way more than their worth. Lord, help me say their names. Eric Garner, Michael Brown, say their names. George Floyd, Elijah McClain, say their names. Yeah. Cause of the pain that they encountered through the battle, so we can live to fight the war in their honor. So say their names.
They did it again. Another black man was considered a threat to the streets. They did it again. He was suffocated in another act of police brutality. They did it again. He kept repeating, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. But they did it again. So where's the innocent until proven guilty? Because the inequality is overwhelming to me, because they keep doing it again. See, the black community is affected with nothing but trauma, and they did it again. He even called out to be saved by his mama, but they did it again. Another black queen is sunless, and it's the last thing that we need, yet they keep doing it again. So much for being in the land of the free, and where is the unity? Because it is nowhere to be seen. All there is worldwide discrimination. People of color considered an abomination, but we carry the same blood in our veins, and we're bleeding the same, yet we're surrounded with the animosity and the hate. When is humanity going to realize that we are all the same? It should only matter we are all from the human race. Otherwise, this is an act of disgrace. All this hate we resuscitate, and we refuse to let the love reciprocate. Why we gotta speak up about racism here? But I said, why not here? Because we still have people who refuse to hear. The Martin Luther King once had a dream, and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere is what he believed. See, my fellow people, we aren't black, but in the eyes of America, we're not white either. To them, we are categorized as the minorities, and it makes us inferior. I know it's crazy, but it's first-hand experience. It makes you powerless when the only crime you committed is your skin color being a shade darker, and I'm serious. But this is for the kids on the rock who needs to be taught as they make their way to the mainland for opportunities, facing the injustices at the hands of America's possibility. And I wish us to come together, cause we should know better. God don't like ugly, yeah, we out here judging. For my feel Samoa, if I violate quality, if I don't Lord, let your peace rain down and turn this world right around. Because if we're lost, I want us to be found. Teach us your ways so we can make you proud. Loving one another, being there for the sisters and brothers instead of fighting and killing each other. Let us show and express solidarity and acknowledge that we stand up for what's right. Samoa, see, we even have African Americans in our bloodline. So how can you look them in the eye and not stand by their sides during these times? As one, we need to fight for the same thing, to end up prejudice against every human being. As Samoans, we are not immune to the systemic racism, and that's what we're trying to voice, but being educated on the matter is your choice. So let go of all your doubts and hear me out, because I'm about to get loud. And this is what I'm all about. World peace. It starts with you and me.
Hey guys, Supapi here, also known as Charles. Today I'm doing a little podcast because recently I've been getting into podcasts, listening to them, and I think they're really fun. The reason why I chose this topic is because 2 years ago, a teacher of mine asked us to write a paper on our ethnicity background, and I just stared into the wall because I was wondering, what are Filipinos? Are we Asians, or are we Hispanics, or are we Pacific Islanders? And then my teacher told me, so Charles, ethnicity is this and that. It's your social background or the whatever group of people you belong in. So she said, for you, Charles, you're a Pacific Islander. And I was like, no, but my mom says we're Asians. And then a kid from the back of my seat was like, nah, I thought y'all are Hispanics, hence the words, Spanish words, and the Spanish last names. And I was like, I just want to address a few things. Filipinos did fall from a family of Austronesians, which reached down to Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, and it reaches Samoa, it reaches Hawaii. So Austronesians is where a lot of people don't know that in the Philippines originally we're like black, we're people of native colors, and until the Spanish and the Asians and colonized us, then we started getting light skin, then we started getting a Spanish language, then we started, practicing non-Filipino Austronesian culture, and that's where colonization happened in the Philippines, where we almost lost everything, but luckily we kept culture in the Philippines. So that's why I really wanted to talk about this today, because it is super controversial. Like, you can call us Pacific Islanders, but also behind that you can also remember that we are Asian and Hispanics. You can call us Asians, but also remember that we are Hispanic and Pacific Islanders. I just want to address this, that Filipinos are it's a minority, we're a colored minority, and I don't think anyone should be disrespected. And for me, from my experience, do not let anyone tell you who you are, because they're not even who you are. I had people telling me I was Hispanic, Asian, and Pacific Islanders. Well, they weren't even any of that blood, which was shocking. So so I'm just here to say, like, don't let people tell you who you are. You are who you are, and also stay educated. Supapi here, Supapi out. Thank you, guys.
So it was a stormy night last night, and it saved me the trouble of climbing a coconut tree, and there's a bunch of coconut leaves all over our roadside. So this is one that I'm going to be using for my mailo weaving. From this one, I'm going to be using the head side of it. Oh, okay.
Say, follow my decoration. It's in addition to a kill. This is inspired by the roadside bouquets. Miss Fleur here, holding the camera, helped me with this weaving method. She sells bouquets on the side. So, let's get started. So it's similar to the Mailo, but you're going to use the 3 pattern on one side. And as you go, the fronds of this leaf, we're going to be using it to weave on its own.
As you start recognizing the pattern, you go faster and faster. Just kind of discipline your fingers to fold these in a manner. So if you're a right-handed person, you want to make sure that you're using on your right and folding these to the left. And then this should give you
Talofa Samoa watu no pele fatulo watu yo topa ia mo tu sa mo topa nga ile na fatauli maina se fam talanga wabina foina fatalofa toi foi le tanto Pacific Roots Open Mic virtual prom ia mo le valaulia ia wa foi le nei tau talanga e patino se fam talanga ile tulanga leo le tanto fa vai o le tupulanga Youth and Your Foundation. E popo lava se fasoa se fasoa ia te oef ini a se fa o lo wolanga po o lo fa vai faingo fie lava o le a mo mua o lo ainga tupulanga o oe e tele tupunga mai se a au se la au po se manu se tulou o oe e iai lo ainga mai pele ia te oe lo ainga o lo fale a onga momo lea. A wane ngalo ia te oe, e te alu, ma avele ngolo te mao lo tina, mai se le nuuma le kalesia. So that means, you know, it says it takes a village to raise a child. So oe le tamama teni Samoa, ta wolo a inga. Alo na lua o lau wanganu, culture, ta ua i o lau wanganu, ma o lau wanganu, o lau ava fata lea ma o i foi e lo ai o le tama ma tene Samoa i lau tu ma lau savani ma lau tautala pele ia te oe le ola faaloalo ma le alofa o lesi le a muamua o le lona tolu o le a lea o le atua io e tupulanga talavou tele lava mea lo tutupu le nei soifuanga ai a tātou tu divai le atua leisi mea whaingatā o ala na e tolu leo o whaaso atu e ia te oe. A inga, your family, anga nuu, your culture, atua, God. So, o ana I tonu. Ai awana nengalo e le amunumuri, o le alofa. E afusia uma mea uma ia I le alofa. So if you look at it, afa pe feo le ainga, you have your culture and you have God. You know, a feo mai I le tūle le culture, you have God and your family. You know, a feo ia mea korolo I le alofa. A feo malolofa, oka, ia walking me kako. So, yeah, I'm sharing with you guys, that's your foundation. So, o lo wainga lo whasenomanga, o lauanga nu o lau whatawhata, o lea tua o lo ta iala, ai afusia mea uma I le alofa. God bless, fam. Safe walk.